let's have the Honorable Makali, but then be magnanimous enough because you can allow every other person who is in the House to speak on this. Proceed, Honorable Makali.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Now that I have the mic.
Order.
I can proceed.
Order, allow Honorable Makali to proceed.
Thank you. You will have ruled him out of order. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this particular opportunity to also weigh in on this particular bill that has been brought by my very good friend, the Honorable Member for Navaholo, Honorable Emmanuel Wangwe. First is to thank Honorable Wangwe for literally resuscitating this bill, which had actually been enacted by this House in the 12th Parliament. But it literally died at the Senate because the Senate did not deal with it. I'm just praying, Your Honor, Honorable Speaker, that we can be able to fast-track this bill so that the cane farmers from the regions we represent can be able to reap from the fruits of this particular bill. Honorable Speaker, as we deliberate on this bill, sugar factories have been closed in the entire of Western Kenya. As we deliberate on this bill, Honorable Speaker, sugarcane farmers, specifically in the Nzoia sugar belt, have not been paid for the deliveries made for the last 14 months. As we deliberate on this bill, Honorable Speaker, the employees of Nzoia Sugar Company, which is domiciled in my constituency, have not been paid for the last 16 months. Where did the rain begin beating us? The rain began beating us, Honorable Speaker, in my view, when we repealed the Sugar Act and enacted the AFA Act that introduced the AFA board to take charge of the sugar together with all the other crops. Why do we say this? Previously, when we had the Sugar Act, we had the Kenya Sugar Board that had representation of all the farmers in the sugar growing areas who were actually agitating and pushing the issues touching on the sugarcane farmers. We replaced it with a sugar directorate. This sugar directorate has been of great disservice to farmers because it neither agitates, it neither focuses, it neither propagates, it neither represents the interests of the sugar farmers. It is heartening to know that in the new bill which we have now brought, which is being deliberated on tonight, we have brought back the Kenya Sugar Board, which is going to be a farmer's voice. The farmers have been denied a voice in the current legal framework that is there, that actually, if you look at the Crops Act, sugarcane is not defined as a crop under the Crops Act. So we have basically pigeonholed sugar matters in a sugar directorate which does not actually serve farmers. Two, when the Sugar Act used to be there, we used to have the Sugar Development Levy, which is being reintroduced in this particular act. What was the Sugar Development Levy doing? It was being used to fund farmers' activities. It was being used to do loans to farmers, to outgrow institutions. It was used to fund many activities that were in the actual sugar sector. The commodities fund does not serve the interests of the sugarcane farmer at all. So it's gratifying, Honorable Speaker, that we are now seeking to bring back the Sugar Development Levy, which will be a critical funding element that will be able to fund activities in the sugar industry, which is a very good element. Equally, this act is proposing to bring back the Sugar Fund. The Sugar Fund is a critical element that will be able to assist us to fund activities in the sugar sector so that we can really be able to move. Honorable Speaker, the sugar industry has also been bedeviled by cheap imports. We find right now sugar companies are not milling, but you will go to our supermarkets and you will find sugar branded Nzoia Sugar. You will go to supermarkets and find sugar branded Mumias Sugar. This is because the government has allowed sugar barons to be able to import sugar cheaply to the detriment of our sugar industry, so much so that the farmers are not getting what is the value of their sweat. This particular sugar bill introduces a licensing mechanism on who should be able to import sugar. And we will be proposing amendments in the committee of the whole House that when it comes to sugar importation, quotas should be given to the millers themselves to be able to import sugar than the sugar barons who are now making a kill from importing cheap sugar at the expense of our farmers. When we look at governance issues, specifically in public sugar factories, we have serious governance issues in our public sugar industry, sugar factories. We have bloated workforce, and like it was rightly pointed out by the move of this particular motion, it has been used as a political tool to the detriment of the farmer, who is the goose that lays the golden eggs. Honorable Speaker, we will want and we will be making proposals in the committee of the whole House to ensure that the farmer's voice is heard and that there is orderliness in this particular sector so that we can be able to see what we can be, how we can be able to assist our farmers. One of the critical things which is also affecting our public sugar mills is the usage of obsolete and old technology. I give an example of Nzoia Sugar, which is using technology or a mill that was installed in 1978. Right now, if that mill breaks down, you cannot get spare parts. And a lot of funds are being used to literally service those mills, those mills, which actually are obsolete. So this particular, with a new legal regime, I think we'll have a new legal comprehensive framework that will be able to breathe life into our sugar industry so that our farmers can be able to reap what they are entitled. Honorable Speaker, in the interest of time, because many other honorable members want to weigh up on this, I will be urging this House that we move with speed to ensure that we pass this bill so that we can move it to the next level, so that the poor farmers of Nzoia Sugar, the poor children who can't go to school, the poor employees of Nzoia Sugar who have not been paid for the last 16 months can be able to have a reprieve. And at this particular juncture, I wish also to thank the government for putting a stop to what was going on, that they wanted to privatize these public sugar factories. These public sugar factories are enacted on land that was donated by the locals. As leaders, we will never allow any privatization of any public mills that were actually put up by the people. And we also thank the mover also for giving the county government a role to play up in this. When we move up agriculture is a devolved function, but initially the county governments were not being involved particularly in extension services. If we look at this particular act, we will see there's a clear-cut role that's given to the county governments to be able to play a critical role in terms of extension services so that our people can be able to be. Honorable Speaker, I support wholeheartedly. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable James